travelers are no longer required to present COVID-19 negative proof. Government claims have never discussed postponing the 2024 election. Good evening, it's Tuesday, February 8, 2022. Market Headlines is ready to provide you information from business and economic. With me, Wicky Adrian, this is Market Headlines. In an official statement, government confirms that travelers during domestic journeys are no longer required to present negative COVID-19 test certificates. The latest provisions apply if travelers has received a complete COVID-19 vaccinations.
Travelers using land, sea and air transportation modes during domestic journeys are no longer required to produce negative COVID-19 test certificates in case they have completed their vaccination. Coordinating Minister for Maritime Affairs and Investment Luhut Binsar Panjaitan confirmed.
Pelaku perjalanan domestik dengan transportasi udara, laut maupun darat yang sudah melakukan vaksinasi dosis kedua dan lengkap sudah tidak perlu menunjukkan bukti tes antigen maupun PCR negatif. Hal ini ditetapkan dalam surat edaran yang akan diterbitkan oleh kementerian dan lembaga terkait yang akan terbit dalam waktu dekat ini.
Luhut, who concurrently serves as Deputy Head of the National COVID-19 Handling and Economic Recovery Committee, remarked that the decision aims to bolster the government's transition plan to the new normal condition. He added that detailed regulation on the adjusted travel requirement would be issued by relevant ministries and government institutions soon. IDX Channel reports.
The government has prepared a roadmap for transition from the pandemic to endemic. Later, the roadmap will be used to normalize community activities, setting a hospital occupancy limit and suppressing the COVID-19 death rate.
Government spokesperson for COVID-19 handling, Reisa Broto Asmoro, has informed that the government has prepared a roadmap to support Indonesia's gradual transition from the pandemic to endemic phase. The roadmap will be used to normalize community activities through virus control policies, setting a hospital occupancy limit, and suppressing the death rate to ensure it remains at a low level.
Strategi dari pandemi ke endemi itu memang kan sesuai arahan Presiden ya, bahwa harus dipertimbangkan dengan penuh kehati-hatian. Nah, tentunya ini sejalan dengan beberapa negara yang memang sudah melakukan pencabutan pembatasan COVID-19 dengan berbagai pendekatan. Nggak hanya pendekatan kesehatan dan saintifik saja. Nah, transisi dari pandemi menjadi endemi ini juga perlu dilakukan secara bertahap. Itulah sebabnya pemerintah menyiapkan peta nih, roadmap-nya nih ya, peta jalan untuk normalisasi aktivitas masyarakat.
Reisa highlighted that in order to get ready for an endemic period, the tracking capacity must also be improved. This will require cooperation from all parties in implementing the health protocols such as wearing masks, washing hands, and maintaining a safe distance so as to stem the spread of COVID-19. IDX Channel reports.
The government has decided to extend the period of providing interest subsidies for people's business credit. Therefore, the government allocates 6.33 trillion rupiah for additional core subsidies until December 2022.
The government has decided to extend the period of providing interest subsidies for people's business credit or KUR by 3% until December 2022. This was conveyed by the Coordinating Minister for the Economy, Erlangga Hartarto, in a press conference on the evaluation of PPKM.
Fasilitas bunga KUR sudah mendapatkan tambahan subsidi sampai Juli sampai Desember, dan kebutuhan anggaran tambahannya adalah 6,33 triliun, dan total anggaran subsidi KUR di tahun 2022 11,97%, dan ini diambilkan dari dana pemulihan ekonomi nasional.
The budget is taken from the 2022 National Economic Recovery Program funds. Thus, the 3% core interest rate valid until December 2022. Meanwhile, the government noted the distribution of core until February 28, 2022 reached 55.06 trillion rupiah, given to 1.26 million debtors. The amount of credit disbursement is equivalent to 14.75% of the 2022 target. IDX Channel reports.
Moving on to global update, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called for new global sanctions against Russia, including oil boycott. Meanwhile, Moderna names Kenya for its $500 million vaccine factory in Africa. More stories on today's International Minute.
The slide in U.S. stocks accelerated their decline on Monday, with all three main indexes ending the session sharply lower, as the prospect of a ban on oil imports from Russia sent crude prices soaring and fueled concerns about rising inflation. The Dow ended down 2.37% in correction territory, having fallen 10% from a recent peak. The S&P 500 finished down 2.95%, marking its lowest closing level since June 2021. And the tech-heavy Nasdaq closed down 3.62%, confirming it was officially in a bear market. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has pushed for harsher punishments against Russia, calling for new international sanctions and a global boycott on Russian goods, including oil. Since invading Ukraine, Russian President Vladimir Putin has shown no sign of de-escalating his military. Zelensky called for an international trade embargo on Russia and said economic pressure needs to be increased. This includes a boycott of Russian exports, in particular the rejection of oil and oil products from Russia. Australia has offered more support to Ukraine, describing Russia's invasion as a wake-up call to the West. Prime Minister Scott Morrison confirmed that $52 million worth of humanitarian aid, ammunition and missiles had touched down in Europe destined for Ukraine. At the same time, he said Beijing must join the effort to stop the war. He has warned that a new era of autocracy was resetting world order, with implications stretching as far as the Indo-Pacific. Moderna has picked Kenya as the location for its first mRNA vaccine factory in Africa and said it expects to invest $500 million. Rwanda, Senegal, and South Africa had been touted as potential locations, but on March 7, Moderna said it had entered into a memorandum of understanding with the Kenyan government. The company said the facility would focus on drug substance manufacturing, but could also be expanding to include fill or finish and packaging capabilities. IDX Channel reports.
Australia expresses support for Indonesia's G20 presidency. Market headlines will be right back after the break. Stay tuned.
Jika Anda adalah investor saham, Anda mendapat keuntungan di antaranya capital gain, yaitu keuntungan dari selisih harga beli dan harga jual saham. Dividen, yaitu pembagian laba kepada pemegang saham. Keuntungan lainnya, investor bisa memperoleh pendapatan tambahan dengan meminjamkan sahamnya melalui layanan pinjam meminjam efek atau PME. Apa itu PME? PME merupakan pinjaman efek sementara berupa saham dari investor untuk keperluan penyelesaian transaksi bursa. Apa saja manfaat yang didapatkan? Investor memperoleh keuntungan. investor tetap dapat menerima dana sebagai pengganti dividen jika ada pembagian dividen saat sahamnya sedang dipinjamkan. Pendapatan yang diterima investor dari layanan PME dapat digunakan untuk membayar biaya penyimpanan saham. Saat nilai saham turun, investor tetap dapat memperoleh pendapatan hingga mengurangi potensi kerugian. Dan yang terpenting, KPEI menjamin pengembalian saham yang dipinjamkan sesuai waktu yang telah ditentukan. Menarik bukan? Prosesnya sangat sederhana. Investor cukup menghubungi perusahaan sekuritas dan menandatangani formulir perjanjian PME. Selanjutnya, jika terdapat kebutuhan penyelesaian transaksi bursa oleh peminjam, saham yang akan dipinjamkan diserahkan kepada KPEI melalui perusahaan sekuritas. Setelah proses PME selesai, maka KPEI akan mengembalikan saham yang telah dipinjamkan dan memberikan pendapatan kepada investor melalui perusahaan sekuritas. Segera hubungi perusahaan sekuritas Anda, Customer Care KPEI, atau kunjungi website kami untuk mengetahui layanan PME. PME, pinjamkan sahamnya, dapatkan manfaatnya.
Welcome back. Mahfud MD conveyed the government's stance regarding the discourse on postponing the 2024 general election. He ensures that the government had never discussed postponing the election and extending the term of office of President Joko Widodo.
Coordinating Minister for Political, Legal and Security Affairs, Mahfud MD, conveyed the government's stance regarding the discourse on postponing the 2024 general election, which was proposed and approved by a number of political party leaders. Mahfud said that the government had never discussed the discourse of postponing the election and extending the term of office of President Joko Widodo. Mahfud MD said President Joko Widodo had agreed to vote for the general election and the next presidential election would be held on February 14, 2024. That date has also been approved by the House of Representatives and the General Election Commission.
Pemerintah sendiri sampai sekarang tidak pernah ada pembahasan tentang penundaan pemilu maupun penambahan masa jabatan presiden dan wapres, baik untuk menjadi 3 periode maupun untuk memperpanjang 1 atau 2 tahun. Tidak ada di pemerintah.
Previously, the General Chair of the PKB, Muhammad Iskandar, proposed a postponement of the 2024 election. The proposal was approved by the General Chair of PAN, Zulkifli Hasan. The General Chairman of the Golkar Party, Erlangga Hartarto, also observed the aspirations of a postponement of the election from oil palm farmers. IDX Channel reports.
Minister of Finance Sri Mulyani found that the potential for smuggling was increasing along with the increase in the price of mineral and coal commodities. According to the minister, the increase in mineral and coal sector activity is reflected in the total revenue recorded by the state. The minister revealed that throughout 2021, the value of state revenue from the mineral and coal sector reached 124.4 trillion rupiah, which was obtained from taxes, export duties, and non-tax revenues. For this reason, the government supports the initiatives of ministries and institutions that form an integrated mineral and coal information system in order to support transparency and good governance.
Karena semakin tinggi harga minerba, maka ancaman terhadap tata kelola yang baik menjadi sangat tinggi. Insentif untuk melakukan pelanggaran tata kelola yang baik dalam bentuk penyelundupan, under invoicing, tax evasion menjadi sangat besar. Ini adalah bentuk pertanggungjawaban untuk mengelola kekayaan negara yang maksimal untuk kemudian dimanfaatkan bagi masyarakat.
Not only conveying support to Indonesia's G20 presidency, Australia also welcomes Indonesia's efforts to focus on 3 main priorities, namely reorganizing the global health architecture, digital-based transformation, and green energy transition.
It is hoped that regional countries' support for the G20 presidency of Indonesia will encourage the resolution of various key issues that are being pushed by the Indonesian government. Australian ambassador to Indonesia Penny Williams ensured her country's support for Indonesia's G20 presidency to strengthen the global economy and ensure recovery after the COVID-19 pandemic.
Ibu dan Bapak yang saya hormati, Australia sangat mendukung presidensi Indonesia pada G20 tahun ini untuk memperkuat ekonomi global dan memastikan pemulihan pasca pandemi COVID-19 sehingga dapat tercapai tujuan pembangunan berkelanjutan kita. Australia juga menyambut baik upaya Indonesia untuk berfokus pada hasil yang nyata dan berdampak pada 3 prioritas utama, yaitu menata kembali arsitektur kesehatan global, transformasi berbasis digital, dan transisi energi yang lebih ramah lingkungan dan berkelanjutan.
Indonesia leads the G20 presidency by bringing 3 main agendas, namely restructuring the global health architecture, encouraging digital-based transformation, and spurring a more environmentally friendly and sustainable energy transition. From Jakarta, Raharjo Patmo for IDX Channel.
The implementation of quarantine-free rules for tourists coming to Bali, Batam, and Bintan received a response from the chair of the COVID-19 task force of the Indonesian Doctors Association, Zubairi Jurban. Zubairi stated that although tourists had received complete and booster doses of COVID-19 vaccination, he asked the government to continue to carry out strict supervision of the quarantine-free rules by monitoring every tourist so that there will be no spike in COVID-19 cases. He also did not recommend that quarantine-free rules be applied in all regions of Indonesia because Indonesia's vaccination coverage is not evenly distributed. Zubairi added that the success of the quarantine-free rule depends on the discipline of health protocols and strict supervision by the government.
Kan ini untuk Indonesia baru pertama kali, jadi harus dimonitor. Jadi di awal-awal 1-2 minggu pertama perlu dimonitor apakah dari yang datang ke Pulau Bali tanpa karantina itu ada yang mendadak sakit atau.
Bukit Asam's net profit increased 200% in 2021. Stay with us because Market Headlines will be right back after this quick break.
Presidensi G20 di Indonesia akan mendorong upaya bersama untuk pemulihan ekonomi dunia dengan tema Recover Together, Recover Stronger. Kami akan menjamu Yang Mulia dan Bapak Ibu di hamparan pantai Bali yang indah yang menginspirasi gagasan-gagasan inovatif untuk produktivitas G20 ke depan. Sampai bertemu di Indonesia, terima kasih.
Perbincangan hangat tentang isu dan kebijakan ekonomi terkini yang diulas secara mendalam bersama narasumber terpercaya. Market Review, Senin sampai Jumat, jam 10 waktu Indonesia bagian Barat, hanya di IDX Channel.
Kewaspadaan terhadap penyebaran Omikron harus terus diperketat.
Ya, hal ini sebagai antisipasi dari masuknya virus varian lainnya ke Indonesia.
Awali hari Anda dengan informasi dunia ekonomi yang diulas dari berbagai sudut pandang. Simak pula analisa pasar modal dan inspirasi bisnis dari berbagai perusahaan rintisan. Power Breakfast, Senin sampai Jumat, jam 8.30, hanya di IDX Channel.
We're We're in the last segment at the Jakarta Composite Index intraday movement. Earlier today, JCI was opened at the level of 6,907.11. And then approaching the closing time of the session, the index was on the level of 6,868.94. And then the index was showing weakening trend by the second session closing time. Index was closed at the level of 6,814.18. In short, JCI went down 0.8%. And next, we're going to see the sectoral movement leading the dynamics of today's trading. We got property as the leader of the strengthening trend that went up 2.64%. Infrastructure went up 0.53%. Technology went down 3.75%. And energy went down 3.41%. Moving on to top gainers and top losers, here are the key highlights from today's trading session. Antam went up 0.71%. to the level of 2,840 rupiah per share. Astra International went up 7.76% to the level of 6,250 rupiah per share. Inco went up 4.92% to the level of 6,400 per share. And Telkom went up 2.44% to the level of 4,620 rupiah per share. Meantime, the top losers for today's trading, we got Bank BRI went down 1.99% to the level of 4,430 rupiah per share. BBCA went down 0.65% to the level of 7,650 rupiah per share. Adaro went down 3.7% to the level of 3,120 rupiah per share. And TINS went down 5.31% to the level of 1,695 rupiah per share. And this is the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar, opened at the level of 14,361. Rupiah was also showing weakening trend towards US dollar, was closed at the level of 14,707. In summary, rupiah went down 2.41%. Bukit Asam announced its positive performance throughout 2021. The company managed to record a net profit of 7.91 trillion rupiah, or 231% higher compared to the previous year.
Coal issuer Bukit Asam announced its positive performance until December 31st, 2021 by posting a 231% increase in net profit compared to the previous year. President Director of Bukit Asam, Arsal Ismail, said that this achievement was the highest during the company's operations. Throughout 2021, Bukit Asam managed to record a net profit of 7.91 trillion rupiah. Meanwhile, operating income in 2021 reached 29.26 trillion rupiah, an increase of 69% from the previous year, which was achieved at 17.33 trillion rupiah. President Director of Bukit Asam, Arsal Ismail, stated that the achievement in 2021 was supported by solid operational performance in line with global and national economic recovery, which pushed up demand for coal. The momentum of rising global coal commodity prices also contributed to the company's achievements. IDX Channel reports.
Itama Ranorayas earned 112 billion rupiah net profit in 2021, or grew by 86%. The net profit growth was supported by its top line, which rose significantly by 134% year-on-year.
Itama Ranoraya posted revenue of 1.32 trillion rupiah in 2021. This revenue grew 134% compared to the company's revenue in the same period last year, which amounted to 563.89 billion. With this increase, the company's net profit performance also rose significantly. Throughout 2021, Itama Ranoraya achieved a total net profit of 112.38 billion, or grew 86% compared to the same period last year, of 60.29 billion rupiah. Based on product segment, in vitro diagnostic medical device product revenue was recorded at 1.17 trillion, an increase of 183% year-on-year. Meanwhile, the non-electromedical device segment was recorded at 141.23 billion rupiah, down 4%. Other product segments were recorded at 1.32 billion rupiah, an increase of 134%. IDX Channel reports.
Supported by the increasing demand, Bumi Serpong Damai is optimistic that it is aiming for marketing sales of up to 7.7 trillion rupiah in 2022.
Supported by the increasing demand for landed houses, Bumi Serpong Damai is optimistic that it is aiming for marketing sales of up to 7.7 trillion rupiah. Meanwhile, the number is up 10% compared to the company's target in 2021, which was 7 trillion rupiah. Director of Bumi Serpong Damai, Hermawan Wijaya, said that in 2022, the company projects that the sales of the landed or residential segment will contribute 74% of the pre-sales target for 2022. Meanwhile, 16% will come from commercial sales and 10% land sales. To support the achievement of this year's target, the company plans to launch property products, be it landed houses, apartments, shop houses, and other commercial units with a price range of 1 billion to 15 billion rupiah. In addition to aggressively developing landed house products, office and retail business lines will also be developed, both in the center of Jakarta and expansion into the suburbs, with a hope that recurring income will be maintained at a proportion of above 20%. IDX Channel reports.
And the news close our market headlines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, Your Trustworthy Economic, Business and Capital Market Channel. I'm Wicky Adrian. Have a nice evening.
Apakah Anda memiliki perusahaan dan ingin mengembangkannya? Perlu dana lebih untuk ekspansi? Ingin kepercayaan lebih dari kreditur dan bank? Perlu peningkatan image perusahaan? Perlu strategic partners? Menghadapi potensi sengketa dalam keluarga pemilik? Butuh penerapan good corporate governance yang lebih baik? Go Public adalah solusinya. Mengapa Go Public? Dengan Go Public, Anda akan menikmati manfaat seperti akses pendanaan yang luas dari pasar modal, peningkatan image perusahaan, likuiditas dan valuasi saham yang menguntungkan bagi founder, peningkatan profesionalisme perusahaan, pertumbuhan dan kelangsungan usaha, peningkatan loyalitas karyawan, serta insentif pajak.
Halo pemirsa, langsung dari area studio IDX Channel Jakarta, saya Mangivera Tjong dan rekan saya David Sanopel hadir dalam Power Breakfast. Dan pagi ini pemirsa, kejatuhan bursa Wall Street terus berlanjut di mana Dow Jones kehilangan hampir 800 poin.
Ya, dan bagaimana dengan bursa domestik hari ini? Dan pemirsa, inilah Power Breakfast selengkapnya untuk Anda.